Well, hello there. This is an update from what's going on during the month of June since the last time that I sent you a video update. And this is going out to Paula and Dave, and Chris and Jessica, and Starla and Eric, and Patrick and Tracy, and Alex and Lori. So thank you for supporting what the Lord's had me doing. And the question is, what has He had me doing? Well, this past month, as I think you know, I went back up to New England. And the first time through during that Ivy League tour, it became clear that the Lord was sending me back to Providence. I met a guy named Robert Costa, who I felt strongly the Lord was going to allow me to spend time with, to work and train up as a leader up in New England, an evangelistic leader. And sure enough, that's exactly what ended up happening. Patty came with me. We spent at least, I think we spent a whole week staying with Robert and Annetta, preaching pretty much every day. And the Lord made that time not only fruitful in the scores and scores of times that I got a chance to preach in the bus station and around downtown Providence, but also clearly, even in the last 3 weeks, Robert Costa has become a lot more confident and consistent in his open-air preaching. So that's been extremely exciting, because that's really part of what I believe God's called me to do, is build evangelistic teams. It isn't just me preaching. I want to leave some guys behind who continue to keep the preaching going, who are understanding what you have to do to build a team, and who have the skills to bring guys in and motivate them. And that's what Robert's been doing. He's brought in a young man named Dylan, who's now going out with him pretty much 3 times a week. He's got another fellow named John Raposo that he's going to be training. Another gentleman named Ray Kroc has been coming out with him. And I'm really happy to report, Ray Cobb. I'm really happy to report we got 2 pastors up in Providence to both go on the streets with us to preach. One's name was Michael Ives, a Reformed Presbyterian pastor, and really exciting guy named Rob Ventura, who came out, who was an excellent, extremely experienced open-air preacher. He pastors a little church up there, and you may know him. He's the author of that book, Portrait of Paul, that was recommended by John MacArthur and Paul Washer. And what Rob does, in addition to going out periodically to preach, and he's very experienced in preaching, he's been doing it since 1996, where he began preaching down in Manhattan. He's about 6'6", big guy, great open-air presence, great command of the Word of God, excellent communication skills. So it was super to have Rob come out and preach with us at this pagan event called the Firewater Festival. It goes on every 2 weeks in Providence, Rhode Island. It brings pagans and devil worshippers and all kinds of funky people out. And we were able to go right in the middle of that and preach and pass out scores and scores, literally thousands of tracts. Now, the second thing that the Lord has me doing, in addition to my own preaching and building teams, is making key connections in areas. And clearly He blessed that up in Providence. Not only the connections with these 2 pastors and a bunch of other people that I won't mention right now, but what came out of this that's so fruitful, so potentially impacting, is God allowed this friendship with Rob Ventura to be something where He's going to now allow me to tap into his Reformation Conference. He does a Southern New England Reformation Conference every year. This year he had Paul Washer speak at it, and I happened to be there very providentially to get to meet Paul and kind of share this vision for evangelism in New England. Well, Rob got all excited about it. Rob's already invited Joel Beakey, Puritan expert, president of a seminary, to speak next year, and Rob has agreed that we are going to tie in a major evangelistic effort to this conference. We're still working on the details. It's not going to happen until May of 2013, but the details are being worked on right now. That is fruit, amazing doors. Here's a guy, I just meet him. I go over to his house to have dinner, spend some time in prayer with him, and he invites this tie-in to his conference so we can try to impact all of New England with evangelism. This is huge. This is huge. And you all sharing the fruitfulness of this. I'm thanking the Lord just for the way He opened the doors up there and the connections that came from it. And I really believe the impacts, the ripple effect in New England is going to be massive. Now, looking ahead, not just preaching tomorrow night at the 4th of July, but exciting things coming up. I wanted to share them with you. Number one, I've got this PEF conference coming up in about a week. Presbyterian Evangelistic Fellowship. I'm commissioned as an evangelist under their oversight. And they gave me the permission to invite in 15 street preachers with their families to come to this conference this year, where you have Rick Light, Dr. Rick Light, you have Al Baker, and you have Dr. Henry Kravendam, who really are excited about seeing the Presbyterian Evangelistic Fellowship get revitalized with street preachers. Awesome. They're thinking of even changing the name instead of Presbyterian Evangelistic Fellowship, that they're seriously praying about changing the name to Reformed Evangelistic Fellowship. They want to get behind what we are doing, me and others on the streets, bringing these Reformed teams together to have an impact in our country. It is amazing. And so I'm thrilled that this is coming up. It's going to be a great opportunity. We'll be witnessing and evangelize up in the Bristol, Tennessee area. But the big thing is these key contacts that the Lord seems to be forming and congealing men to work together, good, sound, Reformed men working together. It's just an incredible blessing that I'm really seeing before my eyes. Now, after that, back up to New England for the third time. Yep, third time in about 2 months. Why? Back up with Robert Costa again. Remember, he's a young convert. He needs our prayers, but he's zealous. He's out there. He's not a young man. He's about 45 years old, but he's a young convert. So I want to hang in there with him and encourage him and do some more preaching with him at the bus station. I also have an opportunity to train 2 elders from a Bible church. I've already been with them once, and then with them a second time this last trip up. They've asked me now to come to Attleboro and train them how to preach at the at the train station. The Attleboro train station where all the businessmen go to go into Boston. So I'm going to do that. That will happen in July 18th, I believe, on a Wednesday. I'm going to go down there and assist those men. And then off to the Olympics. 12 days, I guess almost 14 days of preaching in London. It's going to be wild. How wild it's going to be, I'm almost afraid to ask. Seriously, it's going to be wild. I know the Muslims are going to be stirred up, and we've got a team of 12 guys, including Tony Miano and Bill Adams, who are going with us. And Bill's worked on a lot of the details. He's got a lot of logistics ironed out, and it's going to be a tremendous time from the moment we hit the ground on the morning of July 27th. I would covet your prayers. I'll give you an update sometime in mid-August about how all of this has gone. But these are exciting things that are going on, and you are playing a part in it, and I thank you so very, very much. Also, I do want you to know that Patty, because when you get me, you get Patty. Patty has also been producing these videos that she's been putting online that have been prompting people like Tony Miano and others to go to the streets in front of the abortion clinics and continue to be a witness there. So that's something that she's been doing. And so really when you support what I'm doing, you're also supporting what she's doing. And so we are grateful to y'all and excited about what the Lord is doing. And I want to remind you, we are all capable of being tried and tempted and tested. I hope you have a person that you get to pray with every week. I've got a friend I pray with every week for at least an hour. We keep in touch with each other regularly. You really need a friend like that in the days that we're living in. But be encouraged. The Lord is working. He is moving. Good things are happening out there. We're seeing men come together, Reformed men, coming together in different parts of the country to take their stand for Christ. One of the guys with PEF, Al Baker, he has shared his vision, and I've caught on to it as well, not only of revival prayer, but gently bringing pastors and elders onto the streets to show them what we do, to put a Bible in their hand, to let them read a verse and explain it on every street corner in these cities. That's where we're moving. I'm laying the foundation now to get a good team together of people that can train this, but that's where we're moving. We're going to move this into the local church. We'll have to see how the Lord works out the details. It's going to be a miracle to see it happen. God bless you guys. Bye.